Hello everyone. Today we're going to finish off the edging of Anne's granny blanket. I ended up doing a few extra rounds of the white, then I did a single crochet in the navy, finishing off my edging with the parchment colour and using the spider stitch. Now I just want to let you know in advance that I used 3 chains in between the single crochets in the spider stitch, whereas Anne used 2. When you're actually making the spider stitch and it's not an edging, you only use 1. But I just wanted a little bit more substance to my edging, just because of the kind of blanket that it grew to be. I felt like it needed an edging that stood out, an edging that was strong enough to come up against lots of granny squares and rows. I think this has worked out just fine. It's very pretty, and yet it makes a statement too. For this project, you'll need your yarn of choice, your hook, the same size that you've been using throughout this project, scissors and darning needle. Because I didn't have enough navy yarn to do all of Anne's granny blanket as she had done it, I had to pull up early in these granny stitch rounds. I am thinking, just to expand the border a bit, I might do a round in white, just a single one, a round in parchment, and see if I can get myself a single crochet round out of this navy. Now the edging we're going to do today is called the spider stitch. That's a new one on me. It's a nice simple one, but a new one nonetheless. First thing, make sure that your last round of granny stitch is facing down. So I need to flip this blanket just to keep true to the way in which we keep our corners straight. Let me snip these little ones off here, 1 and 2. And I'll start in this corner. That doesn't have all the yarn ends in it, so that's a perfect corner to start. Now, I am using US terminology for this project, and I start my work with a movable slip knot. To do that, you pop your yarn in your right hand, wrap it around 2 fingers, and pull a loop up through the center. Yarning over, we're going to do a standing double crochet to begin with. So hook into the corner, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, tighten that little slip knot because you can. Chain 1 for the corner. Now 3 double crochets, and when we come back at the end of this round, we finish this corner with our first and second double crochets. So again, doing granny clusters in each space all the way round. The beauty about crochet is that we can actually change things and spin on a dime. We can just pivot all over the place as our heart desires. Because as I was crocheting along this round, I thought, Jill, why don't you do 2 rounds in the white to match this? Because you've got 2 and 2 here, so another 2 won't hurt. I thought that was a much better idea than doing single rounds of parchment. Now, because I've only got this really small amount of navy left, what my new plan is to do 2 rounds of the white, 1 single crochet of the navy, and do the edging in parchment. To me, that sounds a whole lot better. Not sure if I'm going to win Yarn Chicken. I got halfway round this blanket with granny clusters, so I figure that this yarn should be enough to get me all the way around doing single crochets. But you just never know, do you? Murphy might step in and apply his law to what I'm doing. I will soon find out. So what I'm doing here is finishing up the corner with double crochet 1 and double crochet 2. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of double crochet number 3. Now I'm slip stitching into that corner space, chaining 1, and I'm going to turn my work. So we now go back the other way, the way that we came from. You can either chain 3 and start with that, or do a stacked single crochet. So that's 1 single crochet in the corner and a second single crochet, chaining 1, and now do 3 double crochets to make 1 cluster. And I work over this double crochet here, the beginning one. It's a little bit lumpier, so I try to lay my yarn over to flatten it down like so, and then off we go. Another round of white. Here we go. I'm much happier with this now. I'm glad the little idea came to mind. It seems like as I've aged, the ideas don't pop into my head instantly. Say when I'm looking at a project, it seems like I have to actually start the project and get the cogs turning before I can think of what I might want to do. Now this is actually quite frustrating because it is quite a new thing. Whereas once upon a time, I could be very decisive and know what I wanted to create. I could envisage it in my mind. But nowadays, things have changed. Good old menopause, hey? It really hits you in a number of different ways. I'm just going to darn my yarn ends in here, and I'll meet you for the next round. Okay. It's time to flip our work over and choose a new corner. All in the name of keeping things nice and square. Oh, I love it. All right, starting with your movable slip knot on your hook. I'm going to pop a single crochet in the corner, a chain 1, and another single crochet in the corner. I'm going straight into here. There is no hidden stitch because we're on the back, so we just work straight into the next little space at the top of each stitch. Let's see how I go, you guys. I wonder if you'll see me back here saying the yarn 1, but I'd like to have that last little round in the navy before I put parchment on for the edging. I'll see you guys really soon. Yay, guys. I'm so happy. I made it round with this much to spare. So it's time for an invisible finish. Popping that needle under the chain in between those 2 single crochets. Bring your yarn back around, needle down the center of the last single crochet that you made, and there you have a beautiful invisible finish. Darn your yarn ends in. Now we're going to finish off with our spider stitch edging. So you just need to find the front of your blanket and have it facing up. Don't worry about which direction the single crochet faces because the feature is actually going to be the spider stitch edging. Okay, we've got our stitch marker facing up here and we can begin in this corner. We're going to start with a slip knot on our hook again, yarn end in your right hand, wrap your yarn around 2 fingers on the left and draw up that loop. Picking up the corner of your blanket, we're going to start in here, beginning with a single crochet. So this is a standing single crochet. Pop your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 stitches. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to do another single crochet into that corner, chain 2 and another single crochet into that corner. Okay, so corners are 3 single crochets with chain 2s in between. Then what we do is we skip a stitch and we pop on over to the next one and do a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. All right, something's happened. Spider stitch, when you're not doing it as an edging, is simply single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the same space. Anne's edging was single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the same space. I tried out single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, and I was much happier with that as my blanket edging. So I'm going to go ahead 2 and 3 and go rogue and do my own thing. So single crochet, chain 3 and the 3rd single crochet, because it just makes it that little bit bigger and it stands out that little bit more, and I feel like my blanket anyway needs that. So skipping this stitch, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 3 and single crochet. Now I'm actually happier with that being that little bit bigger. So there you have another choice to make, whether to do 2 or 3 chains in between the single crochets. I have finished my last round, which is the spider stitch. Look how much I've got left. So that is the end of 2 balls of parchment. Pull that through. I'm going to darn my yarn ends in with my invisible finish and give you a look at what we've created. There we go. So here's the end of my little Anne's granny blanket, and I enjoyed this project ever so much. I could have happily done more work on it if I had been sensible with my yarn. I should have known to use my navy in the 2-row sections and put my colours in the 3-row sections. That was a very, very silly jilly moment. But I am happy with the end result, regardless of that. It's been a nice, relaxing, beautiful, calming project to do. That's the beauty of the granny squares. And I think, you know what? I feel like we should do more granny square projects for that exact reason. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the spider stitch edging. Remember, I've done mine in 3 chains instead of 2, and I am really happy with that. I just needed it to be that little bit bigger. Let me go and measure my blanket now, and we'll see where that's at. You are not going to believe this. I'm at 140 centimetres wide, which is only 5 centimetres short of what Anne created. So I haven't done too badly after all. I was beating myself up a little bit there. I really, really hope that you ladies have really enjoyed this. I'm saying really a lot because it's got a lot of emotion behind it. I'm going to head off and edit this video for you so that you can complete your beautiful Anne's granny blanket as well. All right, everybody, I've had fun with you and I look forward to making our next project together. I wonder what that's going to be. Take lots of care and bye for now. Bye. Again, doing granny clusters. Oh.